And we are continuing with our coverage from the New Orleans Investment Conference. Joining me now is Mark Skousen, famed economist, author of The Maxims of Wall Street, and the founder of Freedom Fest. Geez, Mark, you have so many titles.
Yeah, maybe you could continue the whole list and so forth. This is actually about my 25th book, but I started in 1980. I had this notebook, and every time I heard a Wall Street saying like sell in May and go away, which a lot of people thought would be a good idea this last time, so I'd write all these things down, and I now have over 800, including poems and a few short stories and that sort of thing. So it just came out, so I'm feeling really good about it.
Well, I know you have another title. You're a speaker here at the New Orleans Investment Conference. What did you come to tell attendees this time around?
Well, actually, I think they're making tremendous progress in Europe and the United States. Well, Europe in dealing with this crisis. Of course, they're inflating, they're doing their own form of TARP and so on, but the fact is that they want to keep Europe together. I just got back from a Mediterranean cruise that we did for 2 weeks, and I went to the south of Europe, and everything was going well except when you went to Greece. They definitely have some problems. A lot of empty stores and sit-down strikes and basic necessities that weren't being taken care of. So they have to deal with this issue, and they are dealing with it, and they're dealing with it by increasing this bailout fund to like a €1 trillion. That's what it's going to take. But they have to adopt the austerity measures, which they are grudgingly doing, but we're going to have to do the same thing in the United States. So what I told people here was I'm somewhat optimistic that we can turn things around as other countries have done that have faced crisis. I mean, if we're not problem solvers, we might as well all go home and buy our gold and silver and our guns and our survival food and head for the hills. And I don't think Americans are doing that. I think we're problem solvers, and so I'm relatively bullish on stocks and traditional investments, and somewhat negative on gold and silver, actually.
Well, hold on, Mark. First of all, I'm happy to hear that you're optimistic, because most people I interview are quite pessimistic about the state of the U.S. right now.
They are, but I've been coming to this conference for 35 years. They're doomsdayers par excellence and gold bugs and so forth. And I've always been a little bit of an enfant terrible in the sense that like when Reagan was elected, I saw that as a sea change. And so I said, sell your gold and silver and buy stocks and bonds, which I think was a very good move. But it was very unpopular there, and I was kind of disenfranchised from the gold bug movement. And so in a sense, I'm doing a little bit now. Look, we've had a great run on gold and silver. I'm a big believer in gold and silver as an insurance policy. But as far as a short-term investment, it looks like a topping pattern to me. I don't see gold and silver going back up and hitting its previous highs. So that suggests to me that maybe we're in a trading range. Maybe the premium, the crisis premium on gold and silver may start to drop here if indeed we do try to solve some of these problems.
Okay, so you're seeing short-term forecasts bearish for gold and silver then?
I would say more long-term than short-term. I'm really not sure where we are short-term. But what I've noticed is that gold was at over $1,900, almost $2,000 an ounce. Silver got up to $50, immediately retraced. But they've struggled to go back up to their previous highs. So that ABC pattern is very typical of technical topping out of the marketplace. Why would that be? Because the crisis premium, it may be declining if, in fact, I mean, even in the United States, we could see the Republicans, my prediction is Republicans will clean house. They will take over the House and the Senate and the presidency. I think it's Obama, unless he changes and improves things, he cannot be reelected. Now, the Fed is falling over backwards to help Obama with all this easy money. And if the unemployment rate drops and we can see progress, Obama could get reelected. So I'm not saying for sure this is the situation, but if the election were held today, he's gone, is the way I look at it. And that means the Republicans get in, they retrench, they have to cut back, they have to increase they have to reduce the welfare benefits of Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid, and I think they'll do all of those things. If that happens, gold and silver it doesn't pay any interest as a crisis hedge is going to decline in value.
So overall, a Republican win would not be good news for these metals.
That's correct. But it could be good for the stock market. It could be good for industrial commodities, because I think the economy could respond to that. So for the base commodities, it might actually be pretty good. But for gold and silver, I'm not as bullish.
All right, those are really, it's a different perspective, so I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Mark.
My pleasure. Glad to be here.
And thank you for watching Kitco News. You can stay tuned to Kitco.com for more coverage from the New Orleans Investment Conference. For Kitco News, I'm Daniela Cambone.